They came at night, without warning, cloaked in ultraviolet shadows and silence, so complete that not even the birds stirred. The attackers moved with calculated precision, infiltrating the outpost nestled high in the Andean ridgeline, one of Earth's remote early warning stations for deep space anomalies. What they didn't expect was a child. Her name was Alara Voss, 11 years old, the daughter of Commander Syra Voss and Specialist Henri Voss. She was supposed to be asleep, but the mountain winds had woken her. She crept to the observation window, just in time to see the first glimmer of alien shapes shimmer against the snow. She didn't scream when they came in. She didn't cry when they slaughtered her parents, Syra trying to shield her with her last breath, Henri drawing a sidearm with shaking fingers. She simply watched. Eyes wide, small hands clenched into trembling fists, she watched them laugh. The invaders weren't mercenaries or raiders. They were Veil-Zir, an ancient predatory species known across the galaxy for their surgical exterminations and selective genocide. Earth had never met them. Not yet. The Veil-Zir considered themselves artists of extinction. They called this demonstration, one of many they had conducted on pre-contact species to test resistance, measure retaliation, and gauge psychological thresholds. What they failed to account for was Alara surviving. The cold saved her, hypothermia rendering her vitals unreadable to their scanners as she crawled into a crevasse and buried herself in snow, watching them burn her home to ash. They left her for dead. The galaxy would later call it the most expensive oversight in recorded history. Rescue teams found her days later, barely alive, frostbitten, eyes hollow, voice gone. For 2 years she didn't speak, not until a visiting general from Earth Black Operations Division made the mistake of calling the incident unfortunate. That's when Alara broke her silence and uttered a sentence that would echo through Earth's military ranks like prophecy. If you don't give me a war, I'll build one myself. They didn't laugh. They didn't mock. They gave her the war. Not immediately. Earth hadn't officially entered the galactic theater. Humanity's death world reputation was whispered in council chambers and feared in simulations, but Earth had kept to its corner, watching, waiting, building. Alara changed that. She became a symbol of loss, of rage, of focused vengeance. She rose through the ranks with terrifying speed, flawless academy record, black site training at 17, combat command by 19, and by 23. She held clearance levels that even most presidents couldn't dream of. But she never spoke to media, never gave interviews. The girl with frozen eyes had a mission, and she was waiting for the green light. It came 5 years to the day after her family died. A Veil-Zir envoy appeared before the Galactic Concord, demanding a protectorate claim over Earth's solar system, citing primitive culture and insufficient fleet presence. The request was a thinly veiled threat. Earth declined. The Veil-Zir responded by glassing Luna's dark side research colony, killing all 4,000 civilians aboard. That's when Alara stood before the Earth Unified Council and uttered the words that would ignite the stars. We are done waiting. Let's make history afraid of us. Operation Black Requiem launched within hours. Earth's fleet didn't just retaliate, they vanished. 72 warships slipped into subspace, leaving no trace. For days the galaxy watched and waited. Some thought Earth had surrendered. Others believed they were preparing a final strike. The Veil-Zir mocked them, broadcasting threats on every frequency. Until one morning, silence fell. One of the Veil-Zir core worlds, Zirakta Prime, went dark. Sensors lost contact. Scout ships sent and found nothing but glass terrain and black ash. No survivors. No structures. No life. Just one message, carved 100 kilometers wide into the obsidian wasteland. For Syra. For Henri. For Earth. Panic spread. Veil-Zir systems began to collapse inward, fortifying, deploying emergency fleets to their remaining strongholds. But it didn't matter, because Alara had become something more than a soldier. She was vengeance weaponized. She wasn't leading fleets. She was a fleet, a ghost in the dark, a myth etched in plasma and fire. One by one, Veil-Zir worlds vanished from the star maps, not with orbital bombardments, but with surgical, calculated retribution. Entire command nexuses imploded from inside. Elite battalions found themselves sealed in bunkers that became their tombs. A single human ship would decloak in orbit, drop one pod, and then vanish. Hours later, the world died screaming. The rest of the galaxy begged for understanding. Some pleaded with Earth to stop. Others demanded to know how. How had one species, so new to galactic warfare, brought the Veil Zero to extinction in less than a standard cycle? The answer was never publicized, but whispers leaked about human nanoweaponry indistinguishable from viruses, about AI swarms bonded with living commanders, about a ship called the Widow, blacker than void, silent as regret, and commanded by a woman who never forgave. Eventually, the Galactic Concord assembled an emergency tribunal. They called Earth to testify, demanded accountability. Illyra walked into the chamber alone. No entourage, no escort, dressed in a black command uniform with a silver emblem shaped like a broken circle. Earth's wore insignia. She stood before thousands of alien delegates and said simply, "You wanted to know what we are. You made us show you." One Veil Zero survivor, one of the last, spat at her, trembling with rage. "You exterminated my species. My people." Illyra stepped forward. No emotion, no hatred, just steel. "Your people started it when they killed mine. You wanted to provoke the monster hiding in Earth's cradle. You succeeded." The tribunal chair asked her if Earth considered the war over. She nodded. "The debt is paid." No apology, no celebration. She walked out of the chamber without another word. And just like that, it was done. The galaxy would never forget the price of touching Earth's heart. They would never forget the silent rage of a child left to die in the snow. And they would never forget the message written in scorched stone across a dead world. Years passed. Illyra vanished from public sight. Rumors spread that she walked the forests of old Earth now, in the mountains where her family had died, planting trees where the ashes had fallen. Some say she cries there. Others say she still listens for war. And far out in the galactic rim, where new civilizations rise and old empires dream, there's a warning carved into every council hall, every military academy, and every border terminal. Never give Earth a reason, because once you do, they won't just fight. They'll erase, not out of bloodlust, not for conquest, but for memory, for pain, for the child who saw her family die in silence, and decided that silence would never fall on Earth again.